What is going on, people? Welcome back. Johnny here, and we are going to pick up with the Beastmen. Clearly we get a Caravan going this time. No comments. Clearly this Beastman game isn't as popular as the Dwarfs game. But hey, leave me a comment. You can make it to an episode, and I will respond and chat with you via this format. Regardless, the base is whatever. It's looking nice. With plenty of open space now that we've cleared out so many people. Tons of animals as well. And the herdstone looks fantastic, surrounded by all that. Our horses are roaming away, but I don't think the beasts really give too much of a shit about that. So they're just going to let him go for now. And it is spring. Plants are going in the ground. We need about as much pemmican as we can possibly get. And we do have a fire starting spree. I told you when I took that pyromaniac that this would happen. It's just the nature of the pyromaniac in RimWorld. Doesn't matter if they're happy or not. They're just going to fucking do it. And I find it very frustrating. Excuse my language, but nonetheless. Anyways, the dwarfs decide to come and pay us a visit at that point, and there's quite a few of them. So we'd best round up our people. Some of them do indeed have bombs to blast through our walls, which is not awesome. But whatever, we have some tricks up our sleeves as well. So let's gather up. Tyrant is way down south and in a really bad position, but that's okay. So they do wake up the mechs and start a pretty significant battle with them. Too bad those aren't scythers over there. Hopefully Tyrant makes it inside. We do have a gun laying around. I was going to cast a Jabba on them, but they showed up too quick. But they did fall for our traps, so that's okay. They make quick work of all those mechs, I will say that. Maybe we can capture some of these dudes alive and sacrifice them to the dark gods. That will be a goal should we make it that far, but at the moment, we have a whole bunch of these dicks coming in, so let's see if we can distract them for a few minutes. And there we go. This spell is still level 1, but I will be upgrading it as a priority here before too long. And I see a lot of friendly fire from these freaking dwarf bombs. You can see pawns coming in and running out, coming in and running out, and the Jabberslite does time out at that point. Spell does not last forever. These two fools over here are wounded, but they're making their way regardless. So probably we should get everybody set up and ready to go in terms of dealing with these dudes as they make it through our trap corridor. I think the best thing to do is just start blasting with the Tzeentchian staffs, which are a very, very powerful weapon, it turns out. The more I think about it, the more entertaining it is. Not that they're a dime a dozen, and it doesn't take much. The dwarfs decide to boogie. I'm going to go out and see if we can't slay as many as possible. Certainly we'll be able to use the material that they do provide us. We don't currently have any allies for trading, so anything we take on, we either have to burn or just eat the cost of the wealth, and it's not great, but anyways, we can make quick work of them, as you can see between the firearms and the magic staffs. It's pretty phenomenal. So we do need to send somebody over here to deal with the defoliator ship, and we can get our growth areas back. Kilbdor here does not survive, needless to say. These dwarves are my favorite. It is sad to see them taking it on the chin, but they're the ones that showed up here. Probably they shouldn't have messed with the mechs. They would have been a-okay. We'll make quick work of this defoliator and then carry on. Some extra components. When we leave here, I'm going to try and have as many components as possible. This person only has 0.9 hour. There's no point trying to bring them back. We're not going to be able to rescue them. Maybe I could tend them on the spot. We have our hands full with other stuff. So there's a whole lot of dwarves. We're going to make a butcher table down here. Meteorite of mineable sulfur falls out of the sky, which is interesting. Yeah, we're going to burn them, give their skulls two corn for the skull throne. And I don't know, maybe I should be butchering them, but we have so much meat laying about. I'm half tempted to butcher them and then offer up the meat, but whatever. We have so many awesome legendary weapons from all of the stuff we've given to the gods in tribute. You can see the accuracy on close and short is 100% for those legendary bows. That's pretty awesome. Some more shelves are in order, but we don't really have a lot of space to play with over there, so we're just going to kind of let it go for the time being. I'm not terribly concerned with it. Either way, there's the butcher block. Let's start butchering dwarfs. I'm going to dump the meat nearby so we can offer it up to the dark gods and see if we can get some favors going. I would like to get a caravan going here, and as you saw in the preview at the beginning, we do actually succeed in that. But before I do that, I'd like to see if we can't gather up as many pawns as possible from the dark gods. They give you very powerful pawns, very prone to survive a caravan, and that seems like a pretty worthwhile trip there. So immediately we're gifted with a fella named Kukak. Lots of meat to continue giving up, and we will continue to make Slaanesh happy. We do need to bring a ton of constructors on the caravan. That's going to be the main goal of what I'm working on in terms of getting people on the road. So hopefully we can be ready for that yet today. Anyway, you can see the herdstone looks awesome with all of the various sizes of rune stones set up around it. 8 by 8 by 8. It's pretty chaotic, if you will. Now, there's a mad quillin outside, but we're just going to ignore that as well. If it comes in, we'll deal with it. Favor of corn gets us, boom, a corn gore. So what I'm going to do is keep cycling through the gods, because we should be close on each one, or relatively close on each one, to getting a new pawn from each one. So why not shift it around and see what we can get? So that went to Nurgle, and he granted me. It's actually working out perfect. I don't know. I didn't really plan on that. I expected to have to do more sacrifices and offerings before I started getting so many pawns. But anyways, Tzeentch is going to be a tough nut to crack. Tzeentch is the hardest one to get pawns from because such a high sacred number. But at this point, we have enough pawns. We're going to start a big caravan. Gather up as much pemmican as we can, which is about 6,000. It's a lot. I'm going to take extra bedrolls. And I don't know, all of our wealth that I can carry. At some point, we're gonna smash Beastmen bases on our way across the map, and that's gonna make us allies because everybody else is gonna get happy with us. We're trying to get all the way over here to Florida, midway down the state of Florida. Over there is our destination. We'll go over there, set up a base, some security, and some type of defensible position. Build a herdstone, and then we'll send this party over there as well. You can see with those pawns that just showed up, wealth here went up dramatically. So let's just send them all packing. I'm gonna keep the Skaven here. I do need to somewhat worry about the ability of everybody to walk. So if I need to, I will put limbs, prosthetic limbs, steel hoofs, which would be essentially a prosthetic foot. But anyways, when those guys leave the map, you can see wealth falls pretty heavily, and that's our goal. We're at about 210,000, and we were at about 280,000, so we've lost 70,000 in wealth in one fell swoop, which is pretty fantastic. It's those damn weapons that are worth so much, but they're also brutally effective. So I'm going to make our way over to a Beastman settlement called Agony, and from there we'll just jump along, try and smash other Beastman settlements. I'm not going to mess with the Empire with this army, and when you smash a Beastman base as Beastmen, we're still working towards gas operation and to get legit guns. I'm considering prosthetics as well, given our issues. But anyways, when you are a Beastman player and you smash a Beastman base, or if you are a non-Beastman player and you have the Anyone Can Beastman mod active, you will get joiners. So meaning some portion of the survivors will join you. You can see Beastmen do forage quite more significantly than other factions, and I did everything I could to make them a transient faction. So yeah, that's the goal, and let's just hope it pans out. Anyways, they have quite a walk ahead of them. The rice plants get blighted, so I set up a zone and restrict everybody to that location, and they deal with it, as you can see. They are sleeping out there at this point because they were busy. But anyways, I don't really care where the Beastmen sleep, and for the most part, nor do they. So, yeah, we have quite a walk ahead of us yet. And whatever, we'll do the best we can. I believe I made custom Skaven bases as well, so we could smash some Skaven along the way, but they're actually a surprisingly tough nut to crack given their weaponry and war machines. And we don't really have a problem with the Skaven, whereas we do have a problem with other Beastmen, because Chaos is generally going to fight itself, I suppose. And really, we just want to grow our Caravan dramatically. So they do get jacked, and they aren't certainly going to give this stuff up. We're going to fight. There's 11 humans versus our 8 Beastmen, but we are very well equipped, and we're really good fighters. So let's just do it. And see, these guys are all melee equipped, which is maybe a problem, but maybe not. There's a magical delivery back home, and I'm not really sure what it's going to be because I need to fight this battle. I'll have to note that for later. We have our melee folks. We should definitely have them out front as we do. And when they get close, I want the whips to start swinging, so I'm trying not to fight these guys too close to where we're standing. There we go. So now we can go in, give them hell, because why wouldn't you? And again, the corn axes are awesome because they start fire, and that immediately sends your enemies into a... That guy's shooting magic at us. I'm sure you saw what that looked like. That is a Slaaneshi wizard, and if you know anything about Slaanesh, you can probably figure out what that was. And he does send Nekas into a daze, which is no bueno as well. He's got some awesome spells, but he's unwaveringly loyal. So there's no sense trying to recruit that human as a chaos cultist, much as it would be interesting to do. We're going to try and shoot him dead, which we do succeed at doing. So regardless, it's battle over, and we are going to, in the interest of keeping our food supplies up, try and butcher all those folks that we just took out, and we'll go grab this guy with the whips. It won't take much. Which he does have good armor on, but there you go. Not that can stand up to what we're trying to give him. So they also each drop some pemmican, which is going to be useful for us as a hungry bunch of beastmen crossing the planet. So the butchering proceeds. We do get everybody tended. It's kind of a headache to stay put because tending doesn't happen. Lightning Feet decides to start doing some research over there, which is interesting. We didn't even claim that. He just went over there and started doing it. There's no faction check on the research job, which is interesting, but whatever. Just a little quirk to the game. So we pack everything up, as much crap as we can. And again, we're planning on having trading partners long before we arrive at our destination. And it's not very Beastman to trade, I'm aware. But it's also not very Beastman to build a spaceship, try and get off the planet. So there you go. Either way, they have about 6 days left to their destination, and life back home continues. There you go. 21,011. It looked like maybe 14. I couldn't see it move too fast. Anyways, we've lost wealth dramatically, but I'm sure that will increase because that's what it does. So we can do some spell increases here. Cargo pods fell nearby, and that does remind me. What are those? Those are Dwarven Goblin Hewer axes. So those are flung by the Goblin Hewer. I did look for those other things that fell out of the sky earlier, but I couldn't find them. And our caravan does get ambushed by a bunch of cats, for whatever the hell that's worth. So we will battle some kitties. As a fan of kitties, it's disheartening to see so many of them slain. But they are vicious little frackers, so I don't hold it against the Beastmen in this situation. Our dude is still on a mental break. Nexus has not recovered. We're going to have to go in front of him to defend him, or they're going to rip him to shreds. And that's going to slow our caravan down. And I would call this a Warherd, but as you can see, there are 8 people, or beasts, and that a Warherd does not make. Anyway, here they come. Wham! Brutality. We need to get Tyrant into the fight here. He's standing off to the side. There we go. So we've taken a few wounds, and done deal. A couple of them didn't rot. I'm not going to bother trying to stop and butcher them. I just need to get everybody tended. So our latest offering got us a coin of Tzeentch, and it either gives you a boon or a curse. And if you're a wizard, it gives you a lot of magic experience. But it's a 50-50 chance, so we're going to take that chance. Sadly, it does not give him anything good. He does get a magical wound to his liver, but his ring of tending automatically tends it, so I don't have to worry about that. And then he goes on a psychite binge, so it's a damn good thing he has that ring of tending, because otherwise he'd probably be bleeding out. Regardless, some thrombos show up. I really don't want them coming inside. I don't think they will. Actually, I think they will, because they should be coded the same way that the Jabberslythe is coded in terms of what they do when they arrive, outside of when they have to hunt. We find some abandoned technology nearby, and that'll be useful because it'll net us components. Again, if we could have a few hundred components, that'd be nice. Some Chaos Warhounds join at that point as well, so we'll get them trained up, and our Harpies can still be trained as well. Still, the Harpies haven't mated and impregnated each other, which I find a little bit... Each other? Whatever. They haven't had a child, which typically animals in this game breed like bandits. We're going to try the regenerate spell Blood Tongue just got, and it actually works. There you go. You can only cast it like once a year or so, but regardless of that, it does what it's supposed to. So, again... A ship chunk falls nearby. Sadly, this one is a psychic ship, and that poses a bigger problem to us than the defoliator ships did. So we can't just ignore this, or we're going to have everything fall apart on us in terms of the mood. So I debate on a few options. There's a favor of Tzeentch again. And another coin of Tzeentch. Very nice. That's fantastic. So Dirtle is going to... I was thinking about trying to piss off this here Thrumbo, because it'll do a good amount of damage, but it's also very hard to hit, so I just call the whole thing off. Once we wake him up, we have to get Dirtle re-equipped with the proper items, and also we need to get everybody to come to the defense of the colony. And for some reason it didn't select that dude outside. But anyways, they do decide to back off as soon as we get ready for them. So that's okay. We'll just restrict everybody to inside and ignore. And hopefully moods don't go to total shite. There it is. So we do end up getting another coin of Tzeentch on the next round. Actually 2 rounds down the road. And... Galkraz does end up getting a lot of experience. So the first time he got a handful, and the second time he got 3. So we were able to dramatically improve his spells really fast, which is pretty awesome. All you have to do is a little bit of risk, but so our Chaos Warhounds keep getting killed by the Scythers. I could restrict them to inside, but the beasts don't really care. They're just not that organized. And I can't really say I care either. Those hounds are actually really useful when you train them up, especially when you train them to guard and to attack and all that jazz. But whatever. I don't think it's that big of a deal if they expire. So anyways, we do go over there and try to cast a Jabberslythe on them now that we've improved that spell. They do come for us, so whatever. I'm going to see if we can't just do it. Have those buttheads deal with it. So that does distract a good chunk of them. And I don't know if they'll be able to take this guy down or if he'll slay them. It looks like he did end up slaying one of them there. There's 2 down. Nice. So if they don't come for us, then we can just keep casting that, and that'll solve the whole problem. Our caravan is still 2 days away from its destination. And we continue to sacrifice critters and get stuff. We're going to keep flipping the coin of Tzeentch because we keep getting them. There you go. There's 3 more points. It's supposed to be random. Something is seriously weird when you try to pull random numbers from this game, in that it just doesn't seem very random, but whatever. We'll keep cruising with it, and I'm sure there's a seed when you start the game, or maybe it's time-based. I don't know. Just pulling random numbers out of the game is how I've been doing it. So either way, here we go with another attempt to kill these dudes. That one actually comes for me, but it isn't long before the Scythers step in. We will get this door repaired. We do need to allow it in our zone. I can't have that happening again, or that door will be smashed. Strolk comes down to take care of it. None of the Scythers end up dying that time, which is really sad, but we'll carry on. There we go again. This time, there's lots of them wounded, and with that many wounded, see, now we have 5 dead. It won't be long before we've dealt with this problem. It's a fantastic solution to what could have otherwise been a massive headache. So there you go. It does, in the end, kill them all. We do have more Warhounds join at that point. Those are all events coming from the Herdstone, the Ancient Chaos Spawn, and the Warhounds and stuff like that keep joining. So we do need to go deal with this dude. But he times out, and life is good. Keep the door open and safely ignore. We can unrestrict. We do need to go destroy the ship part so that the psychic drone stops frustrating everybody. That time we get a whole slew of Warhounds. There's 5 of them. And we send Gullock out there to shoot up the ship, which doesn't take too long with his weaponry, but doesn't finish it till the dark of night. And finally, we are 0.4 days away from our destination of the first Beastman base we want to smash. Beastmen do all have custom bases. For some reason, none of the floors in the custom bases are working, which doesn't overly matter with Beastmen. None of the terrain updates. But when you go to a Dwarf and an Empire base at the current moment, they do have heads on spikes, which I haven't built any of those because it takes a body and we've been butchering and offering them up to the dark gods. But anyways, those are just other Beastman things you can make. There should be one for each race. Now, where do we go? So there's definitely more of them than there are of us, but we are very well equipped. So the goal here would be to use our low numbers but great weaponry to our benefit. So I hide up here in this little tunnel, and we do have Moonteeth, who has the Sash of Slanesh and is very fast, therefore, at walking around. I'm going to send him out to see if we can lure them in, and it's not going to take much, I can tell you that. We just have to get a shot. They do have a decent base built up, and there we go. Here they come. We will hide, and hopefully all will go well in this little fight. Let's slow her down a little bit. All right, so far so good. That Chaos Hound ate it. Nice work. There you go. So if we can get them to trickle in like this. We did accidentally or inadvertently claim some stuff, so they do spend time smashing up stuff that you claim beforehand. And between the whips and the guns, thus far, no one's really gotten to us. And when they do get to us, those really badass weapons we have do a massive number on them. So there's that. That Bestigor seriously wasn't our friend. Now you do see we get 4 new recruits there. Moxaw, Great Belly, Thagdig, and Mickrook. And they immediately go into flee mode because they're surrounded by now enemies. But either way, that's 4 joiners to the herd. And the fledgling Warherd does grow and hopefully can achieve Warherd status before we make it to our destination. The downside is we need a shit ton of food if we're going to actually be able to do anything. And our folks pepper the remainders. We're going to do what we can to butcher these people up. We are taking some punishment from that Ungor due to run and gun, but whatever. We do have a lot of stuff to explore over here. So there's some statues that are worth a fair amount of money. They're also very heavy though. And there's always really good stuff at Beastman bases. You see there's a freezing statue, boots of speed, various helmets and weaponry that are extremely worthwhile. And what else? I don't know. All kinds of crap. But more importantly, there's beds and there's recreation. So the goal here is going to be to get everybody butchered up, gather up all the crap we found, and get everybody to some degree recreated so that we might carry on with better moods. The moods do suffer on the road. We also have to get everybody tended. That room is actually very cold. There's a dwarf helmet in there that's a special magic dwarven helmet, but also we can't really wear it because Beastmen can't wear that. Only dwarfs can wear that. But anyways, so we get everybody tended up, and we gather crap up, and you can see they're throwing axes for recreation. We do periodically have a mental break as well, but there is somebody laid out we could capture. For what, though? Beastmen aren't worth much to anybody. Anyways, I bring everything that's worthwhile when I do leave. A debate on this. I don't know why it didn't upgrade automatically of its own accord. We do get a combat supplier back home, but we don't have any money. We do have a fair amount of random weaponry we can sell. So in the interest of lowering wealth, I do that. And we do purchase some components. Tyrant's got some awesome Empire armor on. It's not really meant for that fat body he's got, but whatever, it looks cool. That Dwarven helmet's worth a fat stack of cash. It's really too bad nobody can wear it because it does provide some awesome benefits. But there you go. See, it's worth 3,500 bucks. It's fantastic. And over here we get a Razor Gore joining. So we'll see if we can't get that Razor Gore tamed up as well. Nothing like a tamed Razor Gore to strike fear into the hearts of our foes. And a bulk goods trader shows up also. We do have a fair amount of material on hand. And I'm going to sell anything that it makes sense to. I'm going to buy some magic boots to make people jump. We do have Jabberslife tongues. And, oh no, we're buying Jabberslife tongues. I'm going to see if we can't get one of our pawns to become a chaos wizard. One of the 4 or 5 chaos lores that exist in the game. We'll just have one pawn keep consuming them and see if it works. They're immune to food poisoning. They will get a fair amount of chaos buildup, or chaos corruption buildup, which could lead to them going mad. But that's a risk we're just going to have to take. So anyways, I've chosen Zaukuk because he is a Slaneshi pawn, but sadly, he eats all 3 and does not get any benefit from it. So we do get some Dwarven Alewort falling out of the sky, which is rather worthless to us. There's the third, no positive result. Anyways, it's high time we just set a massive bit of of stockpile zones and form our caravan to get the hell out of there. So, freezing statue is worth a lot of loot. These other Empire statues are way too heavy. I'd like to take them, but at the moment, I'm just not sure that's such a great idea. So anyways, we bring anything that makes sense to bring, anything valuable, drugs, materials, and we carry on. There's another Beastman base just down the road, and we will see what we can do to smash them as well. Please leave me a like, leave a comment, people. I do read them all, I respond. Get your name in an episode. I do appreciate you being here with me today. This Mad Caribou appreciates it as well. So thanks again. I do love you all, and I'll see you next time.